So season 6 of The Walking Dead aired tonight, premiered last night, and what a season premiere it was. Very good episode with a lot of twists, turns, and some comedic moments. Welcome to my review of season 6, episode 1 of The Walking Dead television series. Okay, so when we start out the episode, it's basically a recap of what happens. You know, AMC presents blah 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 last time on The Walking Dead, and then we see Rick shoot Pete again, except this time the screen goes black and white. And I love the black and white because it sets the tone for the story and symbolizes the melancholy all the characters are feeling. And it also represented the past and the present. You know, in the past, where everyone's goals are very unclear, and then the present, where everyone is like, you know, they know what they got to do. They got to lead this herd away, except for Babyface Carter. So I love the black and white. It was a very good tool for the story to represent the past and stuff like that. One disappointing part of this episode was the whole uprising arc that takes place in the comics was shortened to one part of the episode. It was very small, and you know, unlike Nicholas in the comics, Carter is a complete chump. At least Nicholas nuts up in the comic books. Like, he helps in the war against Negan, but Carter is just a baby, and I'm so glad he got his face chewed out. The meeting where they had when they were discussing the herd and Carter was like questioning Rick, like, you know, I just imagine what Shane would have done. Shane would have just blew his brains out. Any questions? He'd have been like, "Bat." Any questions? But a very good thing about this episode was its cinematography and the looming sense of danger when they're leading this massive herd. I liked I like how Rick says he wants to bury Pete outside of Alexandria. He says the Alexandria is no place for killers, which really made me think of the governor's rule: you kill and you die, or you die and you kill. And that's just a nice little parallel between the governor, because the governor is way more important as a villain than Negan, because the governor sets the tone. Like, people are forever going to compare Rick to the governor's actions the more and more he crosses that deadly line of right and wrong, good and evil, survivor, or just straight up cold-blooded murderer. So they're leading this herd away, and this, like, Rick's leadership he's an incredibly intelligent leader, because the way he organizes this herd being led away is very smart. Like, he builds the wall, and he just, you know, he's curving them and trying to lead them as far away from the communities. He's shooting up the flares. He has everyone at coordinated times. He has a nice little Asian man and a Mini Cooper. You know, Rick's got the plan down packed. And then in one flashback, we see Rick and Morgan wants to bury Pete, and Rick's like, "Do you hear that?" And they go, and they see the giant herd, and they see Jesse's son, Ron. Rick stops him, and he's like, "You have to come back with us now, because this is dangerous. You can't be out here by yourself." And Ron's like, "Screw you, you murdered my father." And Rick's all like, you know, I mean, if you get eaten, you're gonna be one of them. And it will never be quick, and it will never be over. So the episode was, another highlight of the episode was Michonne and Morgan's conversation. You know, "Michonne, you take one of my protein bars? Because there was one more peanut butter left." And I definitely now think that they should have a buddy cop movie.
Wow.
I really hope we get more scenes like that together, because Morgan, he was crazy when we saw him. Now he's like super balanced, but he still has that like twinkle in his eyes of being a mass murderer. And then, like, just to keep talking about Morgan for a quick second, when Rick goes into Morgan's little prison cell and he asked Morgan, you know, "Who taught you to use that staff before? Like, when did you learn it, before or after?" And Morgan says after. I thought that was great, because I think we might be getting... It seems like we're going to be getting a lot of flashbacks this season, because we're most likely getting an Enid flashback, and I want to see who helped Morgan get this new philosophy and who taught him to wield the bow staff like the last Airbender. Um, so all around a great episode. Pretty sad Glenn didn't die. Hope he dies because I hate him. What I will say is it's funny because it's like Nicholas is just he's I don't know, he's sucking Glenn's toes, like, cause he's so helpful now. Like he's just like he's Glenn's little apprentice, and I like that because like sorry I tried to murder you and leave you for the zombies, but hey, I'm helping now, right? Um. So yeah, that was a pretty neat scene. A lot of funny scenes, and Heath. I love Heath, and he was like, and Eugene was like, respect the hair game, and Heath's like, what is this cracker talking about? But Heath is awesome. I love him in the comics, and in the show, it looks like he's gonna be like that sassy gangster dude from like the Bronx Tales or whatever, or like he's gonna be like a Tupac like character. Loved his dialogue. Where the heck is Holly? Like they are like cock teasing us with that character because they still haven't shown her, and she's been mentioned twice. And they gave her comic book scene to some chick named Francine, who we think is gonna be Holly, but she's not. So like, what's Holly's role in the story gonna be moving forward? Um, Rick's character right now in the show, he's very balanced. Like there's no conflict in his mind. When he puts that gun to Carter's head, he's like, you can tell he really wants to blow the back of his head out. And I wanted him to do that. But Carter's later death was much more satisfying. But he says the Morgan people like that are going to end up dead either way. Like his whole philosophy about how, taking care of issues and taking care of and solving problems is really nice, and he's not wavering in it one bit, which is really cool. The you're really taking the community back from us speech, that was great. That was one of the highlights of this episode. And I love how Rick, he doesn't like, because you can tell someone told him about Father Gabriel's betrayal off screen, so he's constantly shutting Father Gabriel down. Like Father Gabriel's like, he finally decides to step up. He's like, I'd like to volunteer. Rick says no. Anyone else?
No, I don't think that was Rick who said no. It was the guy next to him.
Really? Oh, well, Rick or someone else, they say no, and they just shut Father Gabriel down immediately. So he's not really in good graces with anyone. And it's sad when you don't want to take, like, the priest over, like, the whiner, the babyface Boy Scout, who just tried to, like, murder one of your friends a couple days earlier. So that's pretty depressing. All in all, the Season 6 premiere delivered much of what it was promised. It was a very good way to open up a season, and it puts our main characters in impending doom. And what's not to love about that? I love the cinematography, I like the black and white, I like flashbacks because I am a Lost fan, so flashbacks are kind of my thing. And it was very enjoyable to watch a lot of comedic moments between characters as they grow as people in this terrifying world. This episode gets a 9.5 out of 10.